Hello Star Wars fans, and welcome to episode 86 of Journey into Legends. Today we'll be reading Emissary of the Void by Greg Keyes. Emissary of the Void is a 6-part serialized epic published in issues of Star Wars Gamer Magazine and Star Wars Insider, and it was released in 2002. I don't really know what to expect from this story, but I've heard some good things about it, and I really enjoyed Greg Keyes' Edge of Victory duology, so without further ado, let's read and review. Alright, so I just finished reading Emissary of the Void, and although it took a little while to really grab me, I ended up really enjoying it. First and foremost, I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed Uldur's character. He was really obnoxious in Junior Jedi Knights, but I really liked him in this story. I also found Klin Fagi a really good character, especially her relationship with Uldur. However, some of the other characters were a bit forgettable. Leeft, the Dug, was a fun character, but Vega and Vuk, the other crew members, were pretty unremarkable and forgettable. Another thing I enjoyed was the different planets that we got to revisit in this story, including Bonadan from the Brian Daley Han Solo trilogy, Wayland, of course, from the Thrawn trilogy, and then Thyfera from the X-Wing books. And finally, I just really enjoyed the story being told, with the Yuuzhan Vong producing a bioweapon to infect Bacta, as well as Bay being revealed as a Dark Jedi / Yuuzhan Vong agent. And we also had a connection to the Edge of Victory duology, with the crew running right into the Battle of Yagdul. And of course, with Greg Keyes being the author of both, that connection makes a lot of sense. But overall, this ended up being a really fun story with some great characters and a decent plot. Anyways, next we have Star Wars Tales issue number 11, which has 5 stories, beginning with Prey, in which Boba Fett and Darth Vader both hunt down Han Solo for defecting from the Empire. But as they fight over Han, he escapes and attaches to the Star Destroyer just like an Empire. Overall, this story was so derivative of the films and just poorly written. I don't know whose idea it was to write this story, but they are the least creative person on the planet. Anyways, our next story is called In the Beginning, which tells another version of the story of Han winning the Falcon from Lando. Of course, this completely contradicts Rebel Dawn, so it's non-canon. This was definitely the less interesting version of events, but the art was good at least. Next, we have the Princess Leia Diaries, which follows a young Princess Leia throughout different points in her life, including her first time meeting Tarkin, her learning of the rebellion, and her first day as senator. Overall, this was a pretty fun story. I've always been intrigued by Leia's childhood and thought that we should have seen more of it, so I really enjoyed this. The next story is called Tall Tales, which follows a random group of Sabacc players telling stories, specifically about our main heroes Luke, Han, and Leia, and getting just about every detail wrong. Then it's revealed at the end that one of the guys around the table was Han himself. Overall, this was a decent story. I really liked how the events of the films were completely misremembered by the characters, especially when they argued whether Han or Greedo shot first, a really fun, meta little joke. Anyways, our last story is called Ghost, which follows Han Solo as he's looking for treasure on the planet Socorro. Instead, he meets a man being pursued by a swoop gang, and this man is none other than Quinlan Vos. The two work together to take down the swoop gang, and Quinlan wipes Han's memory of everything that happened. Overall, the story itself wasn't anything too special, but I absolutely loved seeing Quinlan Vos again, and seeing him meet Han and then erase Han's memory was just fantastic, so this story ended up being phenomenal. Anyways, this was actually a really good issue of Tales, with some really great stories. For once, there was no absolutely ridiculous comedic stories, unless you count the first one, but everything else ranged from pretty good to really enjoyable, with that last story being one of my favorite from Tales so far. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for my next video where we'll finally be reading Star by Star by Troy Denning. See ya.
you.